And welcome to another lawn mowing live stream. It is Wednesday, July the 2nd, day after the Canada Day holiday, although I did work yesterday. As many of you guys may have seen with yesterday's live stream, did that lawn that had the tall grass. So just a client lawn here, so let's get into it. Turn the camera around and put it in the chest mount here, and we'll get started. Grab my keys, and I'll probably need my gloves as well. This one's a corner lot here, just front yard that I do. Matthew, it's time to cut. Hey Matthew, how's it going? Thanks for joining me. Matthew, can you remind me where you're watching from? And, oh, forgot my glasses. Knew something was missing. Stopped off at home and for lunch. Matthew says, from the United Kingdom. Welcome. It's on. It's a kind of a gloomy day up there, but there's some blue skies in the distance. It is muggy though, kind of feeling. Not as bad as yesterday. Yesterday was very hot. It was, you can kind of see the lawns are starting to dry out. But yesterday was one of those days where it just takes a lot out of you to be in the heat during the day. Don't forget those liquids, easy to forget. Yes, I know. I'm really bad at keeping hydrated and drinking. And I think over the years, I tended, I don't know if that's tended a word. I tended to not drink on purpose, like almost like being a camel, just because I didn't want to have to stop all the time to go to the bathroom. But as I've gotten older, it's really affected me. Of course, with the biggest thing is in the summer times. Past 10 years or so, gout has been a big issue, and I can keep it under control for most of the year. But in the summertime, because it's just so hot and you're losing so many fluids, is now, even though I'm on meds daily for gout, the summertime is when I'm most susceptible to getting it. So I have to be very careful. So I've been drinking some ice water with me throughout the day, and then also my wife taught me, because I found too that even drinking tons and tons of water, if I could force myself to, it still didn't feel the greatest. right? And then my kids, they were both athletes. They're like, that's because you're not replenishing your electrolytes. So um, I bought like a case of like Gatorade with like the electrolyte stuff in it. So I've been trying that now too, and it does help towards the end of the day. The biggest kind of sign that I've noticed is not so um, like foggy brain. That makes sense. I'm like super dehydrated, and everything's kind of a fog by the end of the day. I'm just like so tired. I was just blamed it on being tired, but I think it was from dehydration. So I did notice that drinking something, some sort of like a sports drink throughout the day, sipping on it in between lawns, and then I don't really like the sweetness of it, but kind of temper it with ice water. But the replenishing the electrolytes, I've noticed, has definitely made a difference just in how I feel at the end of the day. So this lawn here has had a huge issue with that European Schaefer beetle the last 2 years. Where the crows and raccoons have completely destroyed the lawn in the front. So it's been difficult mowing it. The homeowner for this one was treating the Schaefer beetle themselves. So I'm not sure if they maybe did something wrong because it was not effective, whatever they did. And they went to the work of fixing the lawn themselves, but it has not filled in properly. So you'll see as I start mowing. So unfortunately, it's kind of mostly getting to the summer. This is going to be apparently a really warm week. Start of a heat spell. And so you can see here, like there's still spots that never did fill in. They're all over the lawn. The crows and stuff just went to town on this one. They completely destroyed the whole upper area, you can see. So they fixed it in the spring, or seeded and top dressed and stuff, but I don't know if it just didn't take or I didn't get enough water on it. But calm it down a bit. Sorry, this lawn is at like an angle, kind of a slope. So it's my body's kind of contorted. Geez, the camera's not quite showing. It goes there. All right, that needs to be bumped a little bit. Oh, sun is poking out a little bit. All right. Whoa. Got 2 bars left on that battery, looks like. This one here I usually break up into sections. I'll do this whole side boulevard first, and then do that front half down there, and then the other side of the driveway to end. That's where the bin is. Tripod, just in case. I clean out my truck. You can see all those Gatorade bottles. All right, and I've got it set to 2 inches. Yeah, so this one does become kind of difficult to mow. And there's so many like dirt patches and things in it, especially in the spring when it was all fresh. There's like a million obstacles around the lawn, essentially. Having to go around all these bare dirt areas. Pretty lumpy lawn. Always bouncing around. It's pretty dry. The last one I did was the opposite. It was pretty well watered. I had to put the mower on high, part of it, to get it to bag. It was just thick. Trying to hold the camera with one hand, stabilize it. It's so much rougher. Whew. See, the mower's just bouncing around. Let's see if I can find a spot for the tripod. So much to consider when you're doing a live stream, signal and all that sort of stuff. Wind, putting it on a tripod, especially the lightweight ones that I'm using, wouldn't work with a regular tripod. Just because I wouldn't be able to carry it around with me. The light one's nice, I can pop it in my pocket, but then it's susceptible to the wind falling over. As I'm going over these bare areas, I'm trying to kind of raise the front wheels off the ground just to make it not suck up dirt, or at least minimize sucking up any dirt. There's still lawn around there. And obviously it saves a lot more time if I can just do long stripes instead of trying to avoid areas like I had to in the spring when it was all just freshly seeded. It's like the house across the street has just recently seeded, which probably wasn't the smartest move for them to do it now, right when we're about to go into a summer drought and watering restrictions are in full effect. You're only allowed to water your lawn once a week, on Saturday or Sunday, depending on your address. I think it's kind of silly that we have to conserve water when in Canada and on the west coast, essentially a rainforest. The issue is not the water supply, it's the lack of infrastructure for watering, for getting that water to the population. The population has grown so much, but they're still relying on the same water reservoirs from, the 70s or whenever they were built before that, for the population that was in place at that time. So it's not a matter of would we have enough water. We would have plenty of water to go around. It's just they need to build more reservoirs to hold that water for the summer, which I suspect they will have to do at some point, because right now they're able to get by just restricting lawn watering and stuff like that during the summer when it's not raining. But the rest of the year, there's no issue with water supply, of course. But I imagine the population keeps growing, it gets to a point where it starts to become issues at other times of year. They're going to have to address it because, of course, there is the nature supply of water being in the rainforest. Currently, right now, it's not being utilized, so it just basically is not being captured. All of that rain and snow melt from the winter in more remote areas up north where they do get tons of snow. Just checking comments. Spots here. As a lot of you guys know that follow the content, the videos, there's no lack of water here where I'm from. The rain. It's a rough one. See how that mower's just bouncing around. Just a couple of years ago, this lawn was probably one of the nicest ones that I had to mow. It was always so dark green. I've got photos nicely striping this front lawn. Like I said, the Schaefer beetle has been an issue, and they've been dealing with it themselves. So it's been, this lawn is strictly a mow only lawn. And they have, good intentions with what they want to do, but just things just don't happen in time, I think. Probably be easier if they just had me take care of all of it, including like the driveway cracks, all that sort of stuff. I've heard the owner talk about spraying them, but then it doesn't seem like it ever happens. That's an example. So we're starting to get kind of gnarly. Down to 1 bar on this set of batteries. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is this 7th lawn on this set of batteries? Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7th lawn. The 7th lawn on this set of batteries. There's two 12 amp hour 4-inch batteries. Down to 1 bar, and it's not flashing yet. Alright, glasses off. Highway 2. Trying to see what that. Oh, live to keep fit. 49, just finished 7 lawns. It's my retirement gig. That's awesome. Welcome to the street. Where are you watching from? Seven lawns, so we're tied at 7 then. Live to keep fit. I guess I didn't end up using the tripod on that one. Unfortunately, forgot about that. But not too bad at 2.5. You see it is drying out though. I could use a lot more water. I suspect that is the issue with why it has not filled in. I'm not sure for my next ones if I should go grab my navigator or just use the Milwaukee. May not be. Last week I was thinking about taking the navigator, and then one of the houses I went to was just like, I think they weren't around, but their vehicles were there, so I don't know if they went on a vacation or something last week, or just away for a day or what. But they parked the vehicles like right up to their backyard gate that they normally go through. So I was like, oh, well, even if I had the navigator, I wouldn't have been able to get in there. So this is another thing, these little helicopter things. The homeowner says not to worry about them. He cleans them up. But doesn't do it all the time. And then all the cracks and stuff. He's been talking about spraying them for a while. So I don't do spraying, but I could obviously use the string trimmer to knock them down because it's getting kind of ridiculous. And then it just looks bad for me with neighbors. Like, if I'm not doing it, and I'm not doing it because I've been told not to do it. able to handle it. So it's something I thought about too in the past is having kind of like a, because you have varying degrees of clients and what they want, and kind of a pain sometimes. I'd much rather have them just deal with you for everything. It would make things a lot easier, a lot simpler than kind of leaving it like that. So it's one of those things I've thought of. And then the other thing that kind of is sometimes I've got clients that um, like where they'll have a different company for doing different things. Like they'll have something like maybe Weed Man for putting fertilizers and aerating and stuff. I have a client that's like that, and it's kind of like it makes no sense to me. So I've thought about having like a no tolerance sort of policy when it comes to that, and only taking on clients that are like full service, where I do everything and just bill them. But yeah, you can see all these bare spots here. Up through the middle was a big empty patch there. So it did fill in a little bit, but still not to where it was. Like it was so nice before. I've got photos on my Instagram with the X-Mark commercial 30 leaving the stripes, the big wide 30-inch stripes on that lawn. It was so nice looking. With that one was just again a situation where the client, because they're doing that sort of stuff themselves, he would do stuff. I was trying to discourage him from putting any sort of weed killer down, but he went and did it anyways one year, and it was literally after that video that I did on my Instagram. So this would have been like 2000. What would it have been? 2022 or 21? Spring of 2021, 22, when this lawn was just like one of the nicest. But then he sprayed the weed killer, and the biggest problem is not that he sprayed weed killer, is that he did it right, kind of like at this time when the city already had water restrictions, and we were just hitting like a really, what do they call it? Almost like a heat dome, like just a really hot period of time that was going to stress the lawn out, and he put the whatever it was on the lawn, Kill-X or Roundup or whatever. Well, it wouldn't have been Roundup, it would have been Kill-X because it's a selective herbicide. And the lawn just went downhill after that, and it's never been the same since he did that. And I've talked to him about it. He was like, I told you not to put weed killer on it. Like, if you're going to do the weed killer, do it in the beginning of spring when, we're getting regular rain and the temperatures are cooler and stuff like that. Not in the beginning of a big heat dome drought that's hitting and you're not allowed to water the lawn and stuff. It's going to take its toll. And then the Schaefer beetle the last couple of years and stuff. So yeah, it's unfortunate because it was such a nice lawn previously, but they work on it themselves, and I guess for years that they were the ones doing it and it looked fabulous. But then they started I don't know, just not wanting to mow it, so they hired me to do the mowing. So the mowing's done regularly, but the rest of the stuff just isn't isn't kept up, or at least not at the proper times, is the biggest thing. Um, so I think that's gonna wrap this one up. I got to figure out now. My next couple houses are really large lawns. You guys have seen the one that I'm gonna do next. Lots of times on live streams, so I'm not gonna live stream that one. So I might take the opportunity to maybe go get the Navigator and try it for the first time on that lawn and see how that goes. I don't know, we'll see what time it is. It's 12:42 here, so it's not impossible to do it with the regular mower with this at this time of day. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll go home, have a bathroom break, and then figure that out. At any rate, thanks for joining me. Thanks to Matthew once again for being always coming onto the stream here and leaving some comments in the chat. Really appreciate that. Also to Live to Keep Fit 49 for leaving some comments in the chat as well. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody else who has popped in and watched this stream. But I think that's going to be it for this one. I got to drive to the next property, so I'm not going to stream while I'm driving through traffic and stuff, of course. Yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.